Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds. Hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy is Ted.
And today Nerdarchy asks us a question: are you a good enough role player?
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with us.
So we're gonna ask the question: are you a good enough role player? And where the idea for this video came up was I was reading a Facebook post in our private group, the NAG company, the NAG, and someone asked the question about, hey, are there anybody looking for groups? And what is it? A fair to middle end role player or something along those lines. It was kind of derogatory to themselves, but they were kind of downing themselves on their role playing abilities, right? And whether this qualified them to be, and the way they put it is like they're kind of qualifying or disqualifying themselves to be in a gaming group, which I found a little heartrending and a little bit heartbreaking that this is what people are worried about when they're looking for their gaming group. And I also got to wonder, like, is this the side effect of streamed games where people are watching people play the game at a really high level? Because if you're really just talking about getting together with your friends or people you would like to be friends with and playing the game, I don't think it really matters how good of a role player you are.
Well, there is all kinds of different directions to look at this. Now, when we were growing up, you didn't really talk about D&D. There wasn't safe places to talk about it because that was the thing.
You did, but you did it with your group. You did it with your closed friends. It wasn't like the internet was not. It was in its infancy, really, when we were playing D&D. So there wasn't a huge community like there is now.
So there wasn't that compare and contrast ability. It was you found a group of people who were like-minded and enjoyed this game, wanted to play this game. So it didn't matter how good of a player you were or how good of a role player you were. This is who you had.
Yes, there was a lot of that.
So that's what it was. And now we've got all of these YouTube personalities that are out there, and they're whatever degree of role player they are. So when you sit down at your table, you can look at, okay, well, what kind of actor are you? Do you have the ability to sell the sizzle with your words? Do you use a voice or do you not? All of these things can factor in how quick can you come up with what your character is going to say, or do you constantly remiss and berate yourself after the game is over, like, oh, if I would have said that would have been so much better.
You can talk. Are you talking in first person or third person? Yeah, there's different comfort levels. These were all things when we were playing early on. We never thought about, really worried about. We just showed up. Occasionally, you would get a person that would talk in character, and that became more of a thing. Role playing became more heavy as we started playing more of the game. Where now people are starting the game, and this is great. And I love this fact. People are coming into the hobby and starting the game from the aspect of role playing and wanting to take on the role of their character and be the character. I've had conversations with other people that are closer to my own age who have children that are in their teens, and he's listening to them talk about their game and about role playing. Like, we didn't have those kinds of conversations. We talked about the game, but we didn't have conversations about role playing and RP. Maybe some story things or cool things that happened at the game table, but it wasn't like, well, what accent are you going to use, or what is your character thinking? What is your process? Like, this kind of stuff was unheard of in our earlier days, and I miss it a little bit.
I can't deny that. But of all of these things, of all that list that I came up with, all of that should be pushed aside if you enjoy playing the game. If you can't do a voice and you're not super quick to what your character is going to say, you're good enough to play this game. You don't need to put yourself down. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone in the community, whether you're up here or down here. Just go do it and have fun, because at the end of the day, all role-playing games is make-believe.
not only that, it's a cooperative game, right? So like the bar that you should be comparing yourself and competing against should be yourself, right? You should always just like, and only if you want to, really. Like if you want to get better at role playing, and you don't actually have to. You can talk about yourself in the third party and still play this game and still enjoy it. There's different aspects. There is optimization that some people really enjoy. Other people really enjoy the tactical aspects. Some people enjoy solving problems and puzzles and that kind of thing. And some people just want to do social interactions and they want to role play and they really want to try and become their character. No one of those methods is right or wrong. And, and I have the most fun personally when I mix them up.
And like I said, at the end of the day, we're here to play a game. Dave says it's cooperative, so everybody is involved in what's going on. Years ago, we kind of played a more antagonistic game where the GM felt like he wanted to win or he wanted to make it as challenging as possible. Whereas I feel the game has moved in a direction where everybody can win. Everybody gets to have a good time because we're telling this story together. If you want to improve, figure out what it is about this game that's the most appealing and work on that. Dave brought up, the list of options, whether it be tactical, whether it be, the min-maxing, whether it be the actual role-playing abilities. You want to get better at role-playing and voices, you can take some theater classes or look at different voices that people in movies and animated shows use and try to mimic those things. And if you find something that matches what you want for your voice, practice it. I know in a recent game, I had an NPC that I was somewhat mirroring off of a character in a TV show. So I listened to that character and I tried to mimic and mirror that voice to be able to do justice to that character. Thought I did a decent enough job with it.
So. I'm kidding. No, there's at least 2 different YouTubers I know of that have done tutorials on doing different types of voices. For using different types of accents, for doing different types of monsters. Dawnforge Cast and I believe Mike the Piper both have done this, so you can go check those guys out. We're not good at accents and doing voices here at Nerdarchy. It's not our strong suit. We still do them and have fun with them. And that's the other thing, too. Like, you don't have to be awesome at doing accents to do a voice. You can just pick a voice and start with what's easy for you and kind of like progress from there. And like the last couple of voices I did, that's what I did. I went with things that were going to be easy for me to stay in character and continue to do over and over again. And as I practice more, maybe I'll try something more complex or more involved. But for now, this is what I'm comfortable with. So I did Jogo and then I did Worm. And like when I do another character, I'm probably going to go with something that I can do a little bit easy because our games are recorded and put up there, so it's entertainment as well. But that doesn't have to be your game. You don't have to worry about that. Have fun. And even if I'm playing a game where we're streaming it, I don't expect all of my players to do voices. I don't care if they do. I want them to play Dungeons and Dragons or whatever role-playing game we're playing, and I want them to have fun. The last thing I want is them to have the pressure on them to be like, am I a good enough role player to play in this game? Like, if you actually have an honest desire to come play, have fun, and enjoy the camaraderie of the game, then you're a good enough role player for me.
So how do you guys handle this at your table with your social interactions? If you got any comments or any cool stories you want to share, down in the description below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Hey, if you like funny memes, come hang out with us over on Facebook.
So until next time, stay nerdy.